At UFC 284, we will not only see two champions duke it out for the title, but we'll have the pleasure of watching the number 1 and number 2 pound-for-pound fighters lay it all on the line. The winner between Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski will walk away with the 155-pound title and cement themselves as the best pound-for-pound. Naturally, not only are fight fans excited, but the entire MMA world is buzzing to see this epic contest. So let's take a look at what fighters have to say about this epic duel. Fighters' reactions. Now there's a saying in the fight world which goes that style make fights, and at UFC 284 we'll essentially see a striker versus grappler matchup between the two champions as they battle it out for the number 1 pound-for-pound spot. At least that's what former UFC middleweight champ turned UFC commentator Michael Bisping believes. He recently took the time to share his thoughts on this epic fight. Just take a listen.
So how does this fight go down? Well, Islam has the better wrestling. It's as simple as that. But Volkanovski is a much shorter guy. And when you're shorter, and I'm not being insulting by the way, when you're shorter, you have a lower center of gravity. Therefore, you're harder to take down. Also, your legs are shorter. So it's a smaller target to get hold of. Islam's gonna have to level change much more to get in there deep, to get on the legs, to get a body lock, whatever it is. Volkanovski also is going up in weight. 155, only a 10-pound increase, but that is significant. So he's going to be stronger. He's not going to have as much of a weight cut. He's going to have more muscle. And the man is already incredibly strong. He has fantastic takedown defense. Islam Makhachev is going to have a really hard time taking him down. On the feet, I mean, Volkanovski is beautiful to watch. Look at what he does to people. I mean, look at those performances that he had against Max Holloway.
Currently, Islam Makhachev is a favorite to beat Volkanovski because of how dominant Makhachev's grappling has looked recently. But the bookies don't always get it right, as many fighters, including the American gangster Chael Sonnen, believe that Makhachev is taking a big risk in fighting Volk. Let's hear what Sonnen has to say on this topic.
Volkanovski's ranked number 1. Islam is ranked number 5. You have to turn to the pound-for-pound list. It's the only list that both guys are on. You want to talk about their own list? Okay, Islam's ranked number 1 as champion. Volkanovski's ranked number 1 as champion. You want to talk about records? One of them's 16-0, and one of them's absolutely never lost. Now, as far as an upset goes, I mean, I was there the night that TJ Dillashaw beat Renan Barão. And Dillashaw was an 8-1 dog. Dominated that fight. Walked through it. Won all 5 rounds. I remember the night while I wasn't there that Holly Holm kicked Ronda Rousey, but they were 11-1. Did it close maybe closer to 9-1? I'm just sharing for you. I mean, with what metric are you going to call Volkanovski defeating Islam? Volkanovski who's never lost? Volkanovski who's ranked higher? How would that be shocking news?
Now, the big question leading up to this fight is how will Volkanovski handle Makhachev's wrestling? It seems like it's a foregone conclusion that Makhachev will take Volk down, so what happens then? Well, that's what UFC commentator Joe Rogan wants to know, as he wonders if Volkanovski can even deal with Makhachev's grappling pressure. Let's hear from the podcasting GOAT, Joe Rogan.
But the thing is the grappling. Like, you remember, if you look at Volkanovski, he's got real good takedown defense, and he can take guys down. Took Max Holloway down a bunch. But he's not the biggest guy even at 45.
Right.
And when you're going up to face a big guy at 55, but also has Islam seen anybody that can move as fast as Volkanovski?
Yeah.
And what if he starts catching him? What if he catches him a few times on the feet and if he can avoid a takedown? I mean, you're dealing with a significantly quicker guy, probably.
Yeah.
He's probably never fought anybody that quick.
Remember when Ortega had Volk locked up in a guillotine mounted? That was insane.
Now
imagine
if Islam had that.
Yeah, I forget about that.
Now imagine Islam in that same position.
He ain't getting up. He might not get out of the round.
Might not get out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Islam has a next level, otherworldly squeeze.
Yeah.
It just seems like he gets a hold of these guys and they just can't do jack shit.
Now, this title fight has gotten the attention of all UFC fighters, even those who are not competing in the 155 or 145 pound weight classes, including UFC superstar Sean O'Malley. Sugar Sean is of the belief that Volkanovski might really be the only fighter who can give Makhachev a challenge right now. This is what O'Malley had to say.
I recently watched Islam versus Charles, literally probably this week. And I was very impressed with Islam's striking. And then I watched Habib fight Al I was watching some best moments, and those guys got some good striking. You know, they're such known for their grappling, but those guys can, you know, throw good combinations, and they have good striking. So I was impressed with Islam's striking, and it's gonna be tough beating that dude. I do have a weird feeling Alexander Volkanovski is gonna be a lot bigger of a challenge than everyone thinks. Could even potentially get the job done against Islam. But if Alex can't, I don't know who can.
And of course, there are plenty of lightweights who would disagree with O'Malley, two in particular being former title contenders Michael Chandler and Dustin Poirier. Both men recently shared their thoughts on the upcoming title fight. So let's hear from Iron Mike Chandler first, who seems to be one of the rare individuals against this epic title fight.
Aussie Alex Volkanovski. It sounds like there might be a lightweight title fight in February next year. How do you feel about him coming up?
Alex is a champion, man. He is the #1 pound-for-pound guy in the world for a reason. He is awesome. I am a fan of him, a fan of watching him. Not a big fan of him coming in and messing up our division. I guess he doesn't really mess up our division that much, but it messes up the featherweight division. You know, I don't want to say it messes it up. These double champ fights and champion versus champion fights happen all the time in this sport. Obviously, right now it doesn't benefit me, so I don't like it that much. But that's a little bit selfish. Volkanovski's awesome, so we'll see what happens.
While Poirier likes the fight but is unsure who will win it, take a listen to this brief response from the Diamond.
And last thing, today the UFC announced that Volkanovski is moving up to 155. He's going to fight Makhachev in Perth. Who do you think wins that fight?
I don't know. That's a tough one to call. I'm not sure.
Dustin Poirier might be unsure who will win at UFC 284, but one person who has no doubt who will get his hands raised that night is Khabib Nurmagomedov. Since retiring, Khabib has been taking over the coaching duties of his late father and has become one of the head coaches of Islam Makhachev. So it is not surprising that he is picking his lifelong friend. But take a listen to just how Khabib believes the fight will go down.
Volkanovski, clinch, lot of knees. He's gonna eat a lot of knees. He's gonna take his all energy, take him down, and he's gonna choke him out. This is what I think. This is the way how I see how his fight gonna go. Of course, Volkanovski can box. He have amazing experience. How many times he defend his title, everything. But brother, this is like Thai clinch gonna kill him. Because even if you know this, let him prepare this. How many months? 5 months, 6 months? Yep. This guy doing this 20 years.
Well, it's Islam's night.
Let him prepare this.
Yeah.
Clinch, wrestling, like freestyle wrestling, Greco-Roman, grappling, Thai clinch, left hand. It's like, okay, Volkanovski, we respect you, but we want to take your place, brother. You have pound for pound #1 right now, but Islam want to be on your side, you know. You have to prepare.
And speaking of breakdowns, Triple C Henry Cejudo has become a great analyst since retiring from MMA. Recently, he broke down the UFC 284 main event fight and came to the conclusion that Volkanovski's chances of winning will come down to his tactical abilities. Just take a listen to what Cejudo had to say.
Now the one that's pretty much unknown, because he's been fighting everybody the exact same. How is it that he's gonna go with Islam? For me, for the tactics, I just don't know. I just don't know Volkanovski. I think that's yet to be known. So for that reason, I can't grade this, but I'm gonna give him a question mark. If you can beat somebody like Islam, I will definitely give you a 10, because you're gonna go against somebody who really understands the game. But for right now, I gotta keep it here. I gotta keep it here because I don't know. You're meant to beat all these guys at 145 pounds. But can you do it tactically if you go up a division to a guy that's bigger than you, a guy that's taller than you, a guy that's stronger than you, a guy that has the same experience as you? Do you have the ability to do that? You know, and it's the same reason why I'm more likely, I'm still not gonna change my mind. I'm gonna go Islam. I'm gonna go Islam by possibly even finish.
Now, as you can see, the MMA world seems to be divided 50-50 when it comes to Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. The two are so evenly matched and so extremely skilled that it is difficult to say with certainty what will happen. Isn't that the reason why we all love MMA? Anything can happen when we tune in, so don't miss out on this incredible main event that goes down on February 12th in Perth, Australia. And if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell beside it so that you're notified the next time we upload a new video. And with that being said, you just watched what fighters think of Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski, and we'll see you next time.